What is up guys, my name is Ignas, welcome back to the channel. March is behind us, so we are back with the dividend portfolio and Revolut update. At first we'll go into the Revolut app to check on the transactions history, mostly which companies paid dividends, and then we'll go into the portfolio tracker on Google Sheets to further check into the dividend progress and how the portfolio is performing. An early thumbs up is appreciated, and with that out of the way, let's start. So March started with adding $500 new in, and then I bought stock in two names. One is Financials Schwab, ticker symbol SCHW. For $300 got 3.16 of a share at $94.89 per share. And then I also increased the position in a tech name Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT, where for $200 got 0.5 of a share at $395.27 per share. Later on, we'll go into the portfolio tracker on Google Sheets to further check into the progress of these two names. Now March 6 started with dividends. A healthcare name Amgen, ticker symbol AMGN paid, plus $6.88. Then March 11 Industrials, Northrop Grumman, ticker symbol NOC, dividend of $3.05. On the 12th Communication Services, T-Mobile, TMUS, plus $2.24. Then on March 13th we have two names. Consumer Staples Tyson Foods, ticker symbol TSN, $2.29, and then Materials Sherwin-Williams, SCHW, dividend of $1.15. Scrolling further up, we have March 16th, it is Google, GOOG, an extra 21 cents. Then March 17th, Consumer Discretionary, McDonald's, MCD, $4.99. On the 18th, Microsoft paid, ticker symbol MSFT, dividend of $2.28. And then 24th we have two dividends, Technology FIS, $3.71, and then Financials BlackRock BLK, a dividend of $5.19. But that was still not the end for the month, so on the 25th we got dividend from Financials PayPal, PYPL, another 24 cents. And then we had a bit of a change in the portfolio. So the position for Caterpillar was a bit overwhelming, so I decided to reduce on the position. Sold $300 worth of CAT at $726.86 per share. And with those $300, bought more in a healthcare name Thermo Fisher Scientific TMO, where I got 0.61 of a share at $491.28. We will check how these positions are also performing in the portfolio tracker. And now two more dividends for the month. So March 26th was Technology Qualcomm, ticker symbol QCOM, plus $6.55. And the last dividend for the month was March 31st, Consumer Staples PepsiCo, PEP, a dividend of $1.82. So these are all the moves and the dividends for the month of March. And now let's go into the portfolio tracker on Google Sheets to further check into the dividend progress. So we have the portfolio tracker open and currently in the tab for monthly dividends. I have summed up all the dividends that was received in the month of March, and we have a bit of a record. So the sum came in at $40.80. $40 is now the largest month ever. It is 12.2% more than what we saw in March of 2025 at $36.37. And now with 3 months in for the year, we have received the dividends of $93.49. So we are on track to beating last year's number of $300 and even coming close to those $400 for the year. Now we have checked how much we have received in dividends, but what expenses can be actually covered with them. So the portfolio in a year should be bringing $394.93. That is $32.91 per month, or $1.08 every day. So with over $32, we have recently beat the monthly clothing expense, and now we are coming to the entertainment one at $40, now covering 82.3% here. And then summing all the monthly expenses at $695, we are now at 4.7% to cover everything. So we have checked into the dividend progress, but now let's take a look how the positions are performing. So one name that I've added money into in March was Financials Schwab, ticker symbol SCHW, currently holding 11.35 of a share. Cost basis here is $800, and market value for this position is $1,047.64. So we are up here for almost $250, an increase of 30.95%. Now Charles Schwab is a decent position in the portfolio, takes up 3.93%, and it is 26.93% of exposure in the financial sector. The stock is trading at a dividend yield of 1.34%, though since we bought the stock lower, the yield on cost is actually 1.76%, and we are getting $14.08 in dividends from this position on an annual basis. Now another name that we added money into is Information Technology Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. Now we are holding 3.58 of a share. Cost basis here is $1,100, and market value for the position is $1,516.54. So we are up for almost $420, an increase of 37.87%. I think this is the third largest position in the portfolio, taking up 5.7%, and it is 23.83% of exposure in the tech sector. The stock is now trading at a dividend yield of 0.85%, and again we are up here, so yield on cost is 1.18%, with this position giving $12.95 in dividends every year. Now we also decreased exposure in one industrials named Caterpillar, CAT, so now holding 2.45 of a share. Cost basis here is now $600, but the stock has been performing. Market value of this position is $1,954.37, so we are up for more than $1,300, an increase of 225.73%. Now this is the second largest position in the portfolio, taking up 7.34%, and it is 47.71% of exposure in the industrial sector. The stock is trading at a low dividend yield of 0.78%, but since we are up for more than 200% on this position, yield on cost is actually 2.55%. And this stock is bringing $15.27 in dividends every year. Now decreasing the position in Caterpillar meant that we increased position in a healthcare name Thermo Fisher Scientific TMO. So we are now holding 1.89 of a share. Cost basis is exactly $1,000. And market value for it is pretty much right there at $999. So we are losing now 73 cents here. This position takes 3.75% of the portfolio and 26.47% of exposure in the healthcare sector. Current dividend yield and yield on cost are exactly the same at 0.35%, and this position gives $3.53 in dividends every year. Summing up the dividends, the portfolio should be bringing $464.63 every year. This is a dividend yield on the portfolio of 1.74%, with a yield on cost of 2.47%, and this is here the after-tax dividend of $394.93. Now overall the portfolio is now worth $26,629.24. We ourselves deposited $18,780, so we are looking at a gain of around $7,850, an increase on the portfolio of 41.8%, and an annualized return of 6.34%. I've also found out that currently we have quite a decent growth for the year. So in 2026 we've deposited $1,800, but the portfolio by itself went up by $1,576.89. So we are looking at a return now of 6.29%. Now comparing it to the returns of the S&P 500, on the year to date it is up for 3.95%, so we are now higher than that for almost 3%. Let's see how it continues further out into the year. Now we have checked into how the portfolio is performing, but what should be the focus with next month's cash addition? So in March we added money into financials, healthcare and information technology, and reduced some exposure in industrials. Currently in financials we have $3,819.35. It is 14.61% of the portfolio with a target of 15%. Healthcare we have similarly $4,774.80. This is 14.18% of the portfolio, same target 15%. And most exposure is in information technology at $6,365.03. It is 23.9% of the portfolio with a target of 24%. But these three are already in the green. We have though one sector in the red. It is communication services with $1,233.45. It is 4.63% of the portfolio and we have set a target at 6%. So potentially this is the market sector that we will be adding money into with the next month's cash addition. And that was it with today's dividend portfolio and Revolut update for the month of March. If you are still interested in details, or would like to use this tracker for yourself, you can access it free of charge by following the first link at the top of the description. All I ask in return is supporting the channel and leaving a thumbs up under the video. Previously I've compared several dividend paying names, so if you would be interested in that, then click on a video that is currently on the screen. And that was it from my side, thank you for watching and I'll see y'all in the next one.
Dividend dreams building